Hello and welcome back to the workshop. On the previous videos I was making these components: the pillars and washers, the barrel, the fusee and the great wheel, the centre wheel, third wheel, a skate wheel and the pinion bobbin. On this video I'm going to be making the frames. Before I start on the frames, I would like to say thank you to Tommy Jobson for sending me one of his stickers. Tommy has his own business and is a fully qualified horologist. He makes bespoke clocks and does clock restoration. If you have any questions on horology, Tommy's the one to ask. So check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. This is what the frames will look like. The frames are probably the most time consuming part to make, particularly this clock due to the complex curves. John Wilding suggests gluing this scale drawing to the plates and using it as a template. He also suggests chain drilling around the frames. Chain drilling is when you get a small drill and drill a series of holes all the way close as you can together, going around the frames, and then using the hand scroll saw and cutting out. But I think that leaves a lot of material to remove afterwards. This is what chain drilling would look like. You could use a powered scroll saw to cut out the frames if it will cut through 3/8 of thickness. Mine won't do that. Using a CNC machine would be nice, but I don't have one, so I'll do it the easiest way for me. First thing I'm going to do is set up the plates on the milling machine. I'm going to drill these holes a quarter for the pillars. I'm going to drill a 5/16 hole for the barrel, and this for the fusee. The front plate is a different size to the rear plate, and the smallest part, which is the rear plate, is 5.7 mil, so that's what I'm going to do first. I'm also going to drill in this 3/16 hole at the top, and I'm going to put some register pinholes in about here and one on the other end on the centre line. These are the plates I'm going to be using. I've taken the protective film off this one on both sides, and there on this particular plate I'm going to leave the protective coating on that side. I'll need that later on, hopefully it'll stay on. You can use the template to determine where to put the clamps. Right, that's the plates drilled. I'll put in 2 pin register holes, one here, one here, and they're in a place where it's going to get milled away when it's finished. Once I'd reamed the holes, I'd marked out the shape with the scriber. You can see the 2 register pins, one here and one here. Now that it's clamped to the plate, I can take it to the milling machine and mill out the shape. Before I start milling, I'm going to drill some somewhat small holes in the corners all around there. This part of the frame here is the front plate is different to the back plate. That's why I put some X's on it to remind me not to mill that bit out. I've now removed the bulk of the material on the inside of the frames. When removing the bulk of the material, it's best to use one of these cutters. This is a 6mm ripper cutter. They cut easy and they don't put much heat into the frames. Or you can use this another one here. This is a 8mm. Once I'd gone round with the ripper cutter to within about 1mm of the scribe line, I went round again with an end mill to within about 1/10 thou. Now I can take them off the machine ready for the next part. Right, that's as close as I can get using the machine. I'm going to have to finish the rest by hand using files. So if you're going to do what I did and you're not used to winding two handles at the same time, it's probably best to practice on a bit of scrap first. The actual protective coating stayed on the back, which is going to come in handy. Ready for the next bit now. Right, After a lot of filing and using emery paper, this is where I'm up to now. You can see that. You can see now why I didn't mill this part out at the same time. You can see the differences. This is for the centric bushing and this is to hold on the back cock. There's two important things to consider when making frames. One of them is you don't want any deep scratches on any of this front of the faces here. If you ever scratch probably more than a couple of thou and you try polishing it out or ebbing it out locally, when you do the final polishing it will show. So avoid any scratches if you can. And secondly is distortion. You should be able to put it on a surface table like this and it shouldn't hear any noises. It needs to remain flat. That's quite important, that. I've done part of assembly just to find out whether the barrel and the fusee's got enough end shake. Just right, that. And also to give you an idea what it's going to look like if anybody's not seen one of these before. Right, that's about as far as I'm going to go with this video. On the next video I'll be depthing and planting the wheels. In the previous videos I made the centre wheel, the third wheel and the escape wheel. So I'll be depthing and planting those. Probably put the eccentric bushing in here and a couple of other things. So thank you very much for watching this video and I'll see you on the next one.